The 1994 Open World Motocross Championship got underway at Payerne in Switzerland. Overnight blanket of snow on the ground made racing conditions extremely slippery for the start of the first moto. Jackie Martins, the defending world champion on the big 610 Husqvarna, with his greatest rival there, number 3 on the Vertemati for 1994, Joel Smets, the 22-year-old Belgian. Well, the riders came down to the line in front of an enormous crowd despite the weather conditions for the start of Moto 1. Well, the first moto really did unfold into somewhat of a slip and a slide session as number 56, Gert Jan van Doorn, very much the rookie of the 500 series, took the lead with this man, number 1, from a poor start, Jackie Martins, eventually getting up into second place. Ronnie Woestenrad, the Belgian 22, who won here at the opening round in Payerne in 1991, held on to third spot, but as we said, it was very much of a who stayed on the bike, stayed in the race. But Van Doorn, the rookie, comfortably led from start to finish as 98 Billy Lyles there, the American on the Honda, changed from Vertemati to Honda for the start of the season, hoping maybe to contest the whole series on the 4-stroke Vertematis, but really not finding the machines to his liking whatsoever. But it was Van Doorn from Martins basically throughout the whole of the race, coping well with the conditions with Lyles, and then behind Lyles it was Johan Boonen, the Kawasaki rider. Number 100, the legend, American Ron Legene, Dogger Legene, a national champion, a national hero at Supercross in the United States, trying out his first European Grand Prix. Eventually to finish 11th on the day. So as the one-lap board went out to the rookie, Van Doorn, 56 on the bike, he goes through. We look back into second and third. Martins not having the best of the starts of his season, with the fellow Belgian Woestenrad hot on his heels until the checkered flag. But it was Van Doorn that took the flag. The American Billy Lyles chased home for second from Ronnie Woestenrad third. Martins and Boonen made up the top 5 in Heat 1. Heat 2 came down to the line. Everybody waited with bated breath, and the 15-second board man decided in speed the better part of valour. And I'm really not surprised when you consider that 40 speed-crazed motorcycles are coming straight at you. Well, they all just about got round the first corner. Ronnie Woestenrad led then from number 4, Marcus Hansen, the Swede. Then it was Boonen, first race winner going through there, 56 Van Doorn. But it was Woestenrad who, as we say, won here in 1991, had a dreadful season to follow that. Came back in 1993, but injury again denied him of a top 10 placing overall in the championship for 94. Number 65 here, Shane King, the New Zealander, brother of Darrell King, his first ever 500 GP, coming from the 125 category. 56, once again, Van Doorn. Now, Van Doorn's credentials certainly impressive because a former 250cc Grand Prix rider, and he's had his share of success in the 250 ranks. Coming to the 500s for the first time this year. Boonen, number 5, here in 1993, finishing 5th in the championship, hence the number 5 plate. Smets there on the all-new Vertemati as Martins slowly completes the lap after a crash on about the 4th lap. Martins really not taking points as he needs to do in a World Championship Motocross Grand Prix event. A battle on between 4, then Hansen and Van Doorn. The winner, Shane King, the New Zealander, wins his very first Grand Prix of his career, chased home by Ronnie Woestenrad, and he's won 1 or 2 beforehand. Third place then in the last moto, number 5, Johan Boonen. From the snow at the first round in Switzerland, we come here to Austria for round 2. Van Dorn leads the championship from Ronnie Wustenrad, King, Boonen, Hansen, Job in 6 positions, but Martins, the defending champion, way down in 7th. Daryl King here, changing machinery. Wasn't happy with the Hondas, 2 DNFs in Switzerland. He said he's just too big for the Hondas, so he's gone back to the Kawasaki's. Championship leader, Van Dorn, the Belgacom team of Job. There's the FEM team of King and Wustenrad. Schmetz, just 1 finish in the first Grand Prix in Switzerland. Not a very good start to his hopes of winning this Open Class Championship for 1994. And the riders settle themselves down there. 65, Shane King, one of the winners in Switzerland. And they certainly will be hoping for a good result today. The board spins around as we get this first Austrian Grand Prix leg underway. Gate drops. Here they go. It's very dry, quite warm here. Big crowd turned out for this Grand Prix, which is always great to see. Race 1 then with Franco Rossi, the Italian, and the British rider, Mervyn Anstey, took the first 2 positions. Marcus Hansen and number 1, the defending champion, Jackie Martins, once again not getting the best of starts. But the Italian Rossi led it. Schmetz, the Vertemati rider that just had that 1 score in the previous Grand Prix in Switzerland, in 3rd spot in the opening part of this first leg. Ronnie Wustenrad, another one of the high scorers, beginning to settle down. And there you see number 6, that's the brother of one of the heat winners in Switzerland. That's Daryl King, brother of Shane King, the older of the 2 brothers. Martins desperately needs to score points today. Already behind in the championship. Van Leeuwen not with the best of points. Rossi didn't have a good outing in Switzerland. Schmetz also desperately in need of points. Marcus Hansen coming through on that Honda, the Swede, trying to emulate his former teammate and former countryman Jürgen Nielsen, who finished 2nd in this Open Class Championship in 1993. Out for the 94 season with an injured back. Schmetz it is then that took the win in the opening leg and a much-deserved 20 points. Martins improving on his performance, but Marcus Hansen, the man on the day in this first race, finishing 3rd. So as the riders prepared themselves for Heat 2, 106 there, Billy Lyles, you see a change. He's still on the Hondas, changing from the Vertematis 3 weeks before the start of the Grand Prix and struggling to get the machines exactly the way he wants them. Schmetz winning that first championship race here in Austria, picking up 20 points to go with the 6 he picked up in Switzerland. So 26 in all in this second leg with 1 more leg to go. As we waited for the gate to drop, and as it did, they roared into that first right-hand corner. All eyes were watching the men at the front. Would it be Martins? Would it be Schmetz? It was Marcus Hansen with Schmetz in close company. Schmetz picking up some trackside tape, but it was Martins who sat there with Rudy Van Leeuwen right behind him. As the rest of the riders came through, the British contingent, led by Jeremy Watley, number 9, battling for those precious points and positions. But Schmetz looking to repeat his first leg win, hoping to pick up another 20 points, which would give him a 40 total. Van Leeuwen riding, and there's Martins, the defending champ. Once again, not a good start for Martins, having to charge his way through the pack and try and get back to the front to pick up valuable points. Martins, who finished 2nd in the opening moto, picking up those valuable 17 points behind Schmetz, now 2nd in the race. But Marcus Hansen it was, the Swede, so far in a 3rd position and looking as if he could take the lead of this Open Class Championship, going out of round 2 towards round 3. Martins held on to that 2nd spot throughout the race. Marcus Hansen determined not to be relinquished from the 3rd position. Number 11 there, the German, Karl Sulzer on the KTM. And here, desperately trying to pick up more points in the lead. Number 3 just gone through, Joel Schmetz. Martins kept chasing to the delight of the local crowd. Number 16, Ziggy Bauer in 3rd position, the local home hero. Schmetz it was then that both wins 20-20 and 40 points. Round 3 then moved across the channel to Ballykelly here in Northern Ireland, and what a picturesque circuit it was as well. The championship stood at Van Dornen leading with the 52 points. Martins had moved up to second with 47. Hansen and Smets shared that third and fourth with 46 points apiece. Ziggy Bauer was fifth with 41 points, and Boonen sat with 33 points in 6th overall position. Delapine, one of the Bellegon team members here, the Joe Bellegon team members, with Smets, number 3, hoping to improve on that championship position in his third round. For the riders coming down onto the line then for the start of Heat 1, and one noticeable absentee, Shane King, injuring himself. In fact, he's damaged his ankle. He did that in Austria, a winner of one of the legs in the first round in Switzerland. Well, they got underway up into the first corner where they usually sort themselves out. Delapine it was, Gerald Delapine, who shot to the front with one of the local Irishmen. But it was Delapine, number 7 on the FN Jobe-sponsored Honda, the Bellegon Honda. Hansen 4 was second, and the local Irish lad, number 91, David Renshaw, hanging on to third position at the moment, which was very creditable when you consider he's not a regular Grand Prix driver. As the rest of the pack sorted themselves out, Ziggy Bauer, number 16, they're going through 61. Danny Thabers, another of the FN Jobe team, as the lead changed on about lap 5, it was Hansen that went to the front. Delapine relegated to second. 75, that was Van Dorn. 99, the American Billy Lyles, changing machinery for the third time this year, joining the Jobe FN team and taking the place of George Jobet, who has decided to pull out of the Grand Prix so far with those reoccurrence of shoulder injuries. Van Dorn, the championship leader, 75. Schmetz battling with Lyles and Martins, and they're all desperately trying to score points to take them on to round 4 in England. But this young man, the Swede, Marcus Hansen, number 4 on the Honda, dominating this race here in Ireland. Martins beginning to move up on Van Dorn and Smets. It was Delapine that began to drop back as the race went on. Lyles began to close on his teammate, still desperately trying to get the machine exactly the way he wants it. But there was really no stopping Hansen by anybody. Smets or the championship leader, 75, Van Dorn, just going through. Hansen was in a class of his own here in Ireland. Billy Lyles happy at the moment with his change of machinery, but as I said, still trying to get things working correctly. A win then for Marcus Hansen in Heat 1. Jackie Martins breaking down when in second place, handed that second place to that man, Joel Smets. Whilst chasing for that second place, the third place man, Gert-Jan Van Dorn there, finishing third. The second heat got underway. It was Hansen that got the whole shot at the front as the rest of the riders came through, but Martins took very little time to assert himself back at the front of the pack yet again. Smets chasing fourth place behind Hansen and Boonen in second, with Woestenrad, Delapine and Van Dorn. But Martins certainly went out in this second moto to make amends for the DNF in the first moto. Hansen chasing with third, Smets chasing with fourth. It's all about points. Number 1, the defending champion from Belgium, Jackie Martins. Marcus Hansen now moved up into second position, number 4, and with this position possibly a chance at leading the championship overall at the end of this Irish Grand Prix. Ronnie Woestenrad having to chase half of those points, but Martins stamped his authority here in the sand at Ballykelly. Excellent track. First time that the Irish have had a Grand Prix here. Moved from Killinchy because of apparently development work on the former Killinchy Grand Prix track. But the first time here at Ballykelly, and a win then in Moto 2 for Jackie Martins. Second behind Martins, Marcus Hansen, number 4. And now leading the World Championship, taking us to England. Welcome to Hawkstone Park here in England in the heart of Shropshire at this superb circuit. And the news is that George Jobay, here in your picture now, will not be riding here at Hawkstone today. Possibly not riding the rest of the year.
George Joe, welcome to Hawkstone Park, but the bad news is that you're not fit enough to ride yet.
No, I decided to stop a while because it's stupid, I think, to go out and just not fit. And I cannot hold the bike, good enough to race good. So it's better for me to wait until I'm 100% ready. Billy is part of the team till the end of the season, as Danny and Gerald Delepine. And I hope, they're going to have good results.
And the team performance last week in Ireland, it was considerably better than the previous weeks. Maybe Billy has inspired the other two riders to ride better, you think?
No, it's only a question of confidence, because Gerald and Danny, since the beginning, they rode many races. But then they had a problem of confidence with the bike. And in Ireland last week, they find their confidence back again. And yesterday in the qualification, Danny made the best time of his qualification, and I think it's just a question of time for everybody to get used to the bike, get used to the team, and it's impressionant team here in the 500. So the problem for them, they think there is pressure, but there is no pressure. They're here to learn, and they're here to do their best, and I hope they do their best. That's all I'm waiting for.
Billy Lyles, welcome to England. One of your favourite circuits, I believe.
Yeah, I've always done pretty well here the past years, and kind of missed coming here last year, being in the 250 class. So I hope to go back to my 92 winning form today.
And you've had a little indifferent start to the season, changing machines, but now I think you're sorted out.
Yeah, it looks that way. I'm been struggling all year with in the beginning with the 4-stroke. Couldn't come to grips with riding it, couldn't get it set up. Started the year on privately sponsored Hondas on my own, and then George and I came together, and with his injury and everything, there was an open spot on the team. Every week we're getting stronger. It's just been a struggle because I lost so much time over the winter on the other bikes. It's like starting all over again, and I started over 2 weeks before the GPs. So it's been a struggle. Not so much from the conditioning side, but getting the bike set up to work like I want it to work and win some races.
But one couldn't fault your form at the first race in Switzerland, the opening GP. You just still prove that you have the speed to compete with the best.
Yeah, I think, I've been a bit nervous just from struggling to get everything set up. I've been working 18, 20 hours a day sometimes to get the bikes ready and to keep testing and work because of the limited amount of time we've had. And George has helped out a lot with everything that's coming through, and it's starting to come together. I mean, I wasn't as quick yesterday in qualifying as I wanted to be, but there again, we were working from 7 o'clock yesterday morning till 11 o'clock last night trying to get everything going, and they haven't stopped this morning, so.
The old Smets here celebrating his superb time yesterday and today, second out onto the grid. There's Johan Boonen. Look, he's looking happy. He's had a good look round the circuit. Overnight rain has turned things. Billy Lyles walking through there has turned the circuit into what one would describe as a little bit of a quagmire. But nevertheless, I'm sure the riders will sort things out. Marcus Hansen, well, looking very apprehensive, and so he should. The machine and the face of one of our British top contenders, Jeremy Watley, number 9. There is the reigning world champion, Jackie Martins. Ronnie Oostenrad with his little moustache. Tells me he didn't bother to shave this morning, I'm not surprised. So Smets it is that leads them out onto the line, followed by Martins. First two quickest in time training this morning of the Grand Prix. And Martins heads to that extreme right-hand side. There, number 23, he's just gone out. And that, of course, is Carlo Hilson. As we wait now, the crowd along the fencing. The 15-second board is already up. Well, 18 for the 5-second. There it is. The DBR 5-second board. The gate will drop any moment. This Grand Prix will be underway. And it is. Off they go. Looks fairly clean so far. Into the woods they go for the first time. Look at this. 40 power-crazed motorcycle riders all competing for the same 6 inches of track. And it looks like Martins have got the whole shot. It could be Hulsen behind him, number 23, indeed it is. But it's Martins on the big four-stroke Husqvarna. There's Schmetz on the second of the big four strokes. Rudy van Leeuwen, number 19, going through. We're looking back as our whole group of riders come over the bridge. Number 4, Marcus Hansen, the Yamaha Leap, possibly might claim a few here. You can see, those of you that know Hawkstone Park well, a little bit of track redesign. We've got a wall of death at the back, which now leads down onto the Yamaha Leap as the riders coming through. We've got Fabers, Burnham, Pignotti going through, Cavatorta. We're looking for some of our British interests here at the moment. One of those, of course, being Jeremy Watley, the other Mervyn Anstey, and the other one on the RTX Mako, Brian Wheeler. He should be around this group, and this could be him now. Yes, indeed, Brian Wheeler there with another one of our British interests, Daniel Smith, number 58. But it is Martins out front with Carlo Hulsen on the Sahul's Honda behind him, and there's the British fans just eager to cheer on the British contingent that are here in the race today. But so far, no signs of them. Van Leeuwen going through. As you can see, track conditions very greasy in this first moto. Things will dry out. Ronnie Oostenrad, 22, goes through there. But it's Martins coming down the big descent from the Hawkstone Hill. You can just feel the grunt of that four-stroke as it puts the power down. Hulsen, Schmetz, dogging for second place at the moment. Rudy van Leeuwen, 19, sits there as well. And believe you me, it gets very deep and wet through those ruts. There's Hansen, the current championship leader. And we seem to have a retirement here. Van Dorn it is, 58. Van Dorn, who led the championship after the first round, looks to retire. I understand he's clouted a post and may well have broken his hand. But it's Martins, the king himself, dominating at the front, and the battle is all on for second and third because it is Hulsen along with Schmetz. But Martins looks unperturbed with what the battle is behind him, and we might know they're still there as their second and third stays the same. Let's look back for third. We pick up the leader once again. Jackie Martins, the 33-year-old national champion from Belgium, on more times than we care to remember, and I think we may have seen a change for second. Yes, indeed we have. Schmetz, so we've got 2 4-strokes leading. Leeuwen, it is still in 4th position, untroubled at the moment. We're looking back for 5th, and it's Billy Lyles, 73 Billy Lyles on the FM Job Bellegom Honda, as the rest of the pack comes screaming through, but really there's no denying the lead that man has. Jackie Martins along the finishing straight, under the DBR bridge and the DBR jump. Schmetz on the Vertamati in second spot, but Hulsen appears to have got his second breath. Up the big hill they go, over the road jump. The power goes down, the mechanic gives him the pit board. We have a retirement. Number 81 out of the fray. That's Greg Hansen, the British rider. Van Leeuwen there 4th. As we said, totally untroubled at the moment. But look at this, Lyles. Lyles having a battle. I think it could be Hansen. Look at that up the hill. Bike against bike. Who will it be that will emerge out front at the top? But out front at the moment, it is still Martins, the Belgium, the current reigning World 500cc champion. Schmetz, who spent the best part of 2 days in bed at the early part of this week with a migraine headache, but is fully recovered now. He's back in the fray, and there 4th, and or maybe 3rd now, because I didn't see Hulsen go through. But he did, yes, I'm told he shot through just out of Cameron shot. So it's 4th then for Van Leeuwen as we pick up the leader. Puts the power down into the big 4-stroke as he goes up the Hawkstone Hill. There's Schmetz second, then we've got a back marker squeeze between Schmetz and Hulsen, number 23. So very much at the moment, it's a sort of a Belgium lead with a Swede chasing hard. Just listen to that. You can literally hear him anywhere around the circuit. The second of the 4 strokes, the Vertamati, the machine prepared by the 2 Italian brothers. Started off life as Usenberg, but the only resemblance to that now is basically the top end of the bike. The leader, Martins, look at those puddles. Very wet and sticky indeed. Schmetz still in second, looking at those 17 points. Untroubled at the moment. Rudy van Leeuwen thinks he's got a rear puncher. He's looking down at the bike as the back markers begin to be peeled off by the leader, number 1. Schmetz coming through to start another lap. Up the hill he goes, the infamous, famous Hawkstone Hill. And we have a bit of a tussle on here by the looks of things. And yes, Van Leeuwen most definitely in trouble. Appears to be dropping back. And I can only assume that that's a rear wheel puncher. Martins settles down the spectators at the moment. Really, we are lacking a Brit at the front of this race at the moment to shake up the spectators. But nevertheless, they're still enjoying the event. Billy Lyle's going through 73 with number 4 Marcus Hansen, the Swede, right still in touch with the back wheel of that FM Jobe Honda. But Martins has led this from the drop of the gate, took the right-hand side of the start gate. And those that can think back over the years, that was our former world champion's best starting blocks, David Thorpe. 23, Carlo Hilson, the Dutchman. The battle is most definitely on now because Hansen looks to have taken Lyles. Yes, indeed. Marcus Hansen, the Swede, taking the American Billy Lyles before the big hill. Now, I wonder whether that spells a problem for Lyles. As he said in the interview, taking quite a lot of time to get the bike set up for him here at Hawkstone. And on to the FM Jobe Hondas at the previous round in Ireland, but Jackie Martins having no problems at all at the front. Into the whoops he goes. Schmetz still there in second, untroubled by anyone. Carving their way through the back markers. We've seen the third place man go through. Here's the fourth place man, Marcus Hansen. As they come towards that's the road jump. That's the road that leads across to the spectator trade areas. And during the race, it becomes quite a useful uphill jump before the big hill. First has gone through. Second here, Schmetz. Listen to that machine. Very suitable to these 4 strokes, this slippery, sandy circuit. It just goes maybe to prove some of the pundits right when they say that when the Belgians and the Dutch come here to Hawkstone Park, they do have a slight advantage over the British riders. Fourth, then, it is for Marcus Hansen. Billy Lyles behind him in 5th. Now, here are the famous whoopie-doos. And Martins making no hard job of them whatsoever. Quite easily through there, but if you saw the 250s and 125s come through these whoops, they just skip from top to top. Whereas these big 4 strokes, obviously a lot heavier, not able to do that. But here they are. Many a great champion has claimed, or been claimed, in these famous whoops at Hawkstone Park. And none other than our own David Thorpe. He's had his fair shares of get-offs through these. Looks like we've got a retirement there. Can't see who it is at the moment. Looks like 52, Hans Brendensen. One of the Dutch riders. He looks to have decided that's enough for this race anyway. Lyles going through, 73. Being chased by basically the rest of the ensuing pack as the leader comes over the leaps to take the 2-lap board. Up the hill he goes. Schmetz comes over to take the very same board, just the 2 more laps to follow, and then it'll be the checkered flag for Jackie Martins at 20 points. And he needs every one of them. Trailing in the championship at the moment in 4th position. Schmetz going up the hill. He also trailing. The leader of the championship currently is number 4, Marcus Hansen, leading after the Irish round. Spectators hanging over the fences, cheering on their local heroes. Look, listen to those hooters. Through the whoops comes Martin. He even has time to look across and smile at the spectators. He knows he's got an enormous lead over 2nd place man, which is this man, Joel Schmetz, on the Vertemati. Number 3 on the bike, the Belgian rider. So we've got Belgium's lead in 1st and 2nd. All over the place for somebody there. And that was number 28. I think that's Kuracek. Miroslav Kuracek, the Czech Republic rider Finding these whoops just maybe a little bit too much for him. Different styles these riders adopt, but it's really just a question of keep on touching the throttle and dropping the back wheel. Ronnie Oostenrad, 22 going through. Ronnie, no stranger to these. Oh, a different line there. From number 5, Johan Boonen. Boonen not figuring in these results at the moment. Number 9, you can tell it's a British rider, Jeremy Watley. Hanging on, I think, at the moment to about 9th position. Checkered flag then for the Belgium Jackie Martins. We're looking back for second. It should be yellow, and indeed it is. The Vertemati of Joel Smets. And behind Smets, we're still looking for number 23, Carlo Hulsen. And there indeed he is, on cue. And behind him, it should be number 4, championship leader, Marcus Hansen. Then Lyles, number 73 on the FM Job Honda. Behind Lyles, as Jackie Martins heads to the rostrum for the presentation, it was Ronnie Oostenrad. Jeremy Watley, the British rider, finishing 9th, the only, or literally the only British finisher. Mervyn Anstey, the other main British contender, pulling out after the first lap with a blown silencer. But there you are. The top 3 then, Jackie Martins, Joel Smets, and in 3rd position, Carlo Hulsen. He'll be happy with that. Let's go down after the presentation and speak to Jackie Martins.
Complete domination of that race, Jackie Martins.
Yeah, in the practice it was going well, and now I have to win. And I feel last week in Ireland that I'm in good condition now. Now I have to win well. I have to take many points back, but it's going good. I have no problems still now, but I have to touch wood well. One mistake again, and maybe it's finished for the whole year. But now in Hawkstone, it's going very easy.
And the result is good because Gert-Jan van Doorn was no points, and you're right up there now with the leaders, very close.
Yeah, it's a good thing. I'm happy. Well, yeah, the World Championship is not that long this year with the 2 heats. And before we have 1/3 of the points we can get back, and now we have only 2 races and 1 mistake, and we have not so much place to
make the points up again.
Yeah.
Jackie, congratulations, and we look forward to racing Heat 2.
Okay, thank you.
Don't miss out on the action. Take out a subscription to DBR, and every month the magazine will be delivered direct to your door, and we'll pay the postage. And to you, the video viewer, there's a special offer of a free video. Subscribe for 1 year and choose from the 1993 Fox Hills 250cc GP video or the 90-minute 1993 250cc GP compilation. Alternatively, pay for the next 24 issues and we'll send you both videos absolutely free. The 1 year cost is £23.40 and it's £46.80 for 2 years. Send cheques or postal orders made payable to Key Publishing or forward your credit card details to DBR Subscription Department, Key Publishing Limited, P.O. Box 100, Stamford, Lincolnshire.
Taking a look around the trade stands there. In your picture, one of the Belagon riders. It's Gerald Delapine. As we look down onto the Parc Ferme as Joel Smets leads the riders out onto the grid with Jackie Martins, the winner of the opening Moto. Smets was second. 23, Carlo Hulsen. 22, Ronnie Oostenrad. Number 5 there, Johan Boonen, the big lanky Belgium with the black curly hair. 90 goes out behind that group, and that's Danny Thabers. 6, Daryl King, the New Zealander. Number 19, Rudy van Leeuwen, and a puncher it was in the first race. Number 9, Jeremy Watley, finishing 9th. Best of our British finishers from Moto 1. And Jeremy Watley should know this start gate like the back of his hand. He's been here many times before. Following Rudy van Leeuwen onto the line as the rest drop in, and Martins has taken that extreme right-hand side. Delapine, 28, Kuracek, as the DBR 5-second board spins around. Moto 2, the gate is about to drop, and here they go. Whoa, all over the place. I think one of those riders may have been Peter Dirks. Oh, we got another accident in the middle. Oh, Daniel Smith, I think the British rider involved with that. I can't see the others. Oh, at the front, it is Martins again that has taken the whole shot. But Schmetz this time is making sure he doesn't get a runaway lead. Martins and Schmetz, 4 strokes, 1 and 2. Let's look back behind these two and see who's there in third. Well, not yet. The cameraman's very excited, wants to stay on the lead battle between the two 4 strokes. Here is third place man, and it's Hansen. Marcus Hansen hanging on to that slender lead in the champion. That looked like Mervyn Anstey going through, the British rider. Pulled out of the first moto with a blown silencer on lap 1, but that was Anstey, I think, in 4th. The Belagon riders going through as we pick them up. Lyles, Delapine amongst that group. But here they are. The circuit conditions beginning to drive very nicely now. This will up the pace. That was Brian Wheeler on the RTX Mako number 10 just gone through. Sponsored by Wolfsport clothing. But as the fallers from the start straight pick themselves up and begin to try and play catch up, we return to the front. Over the DBR jump, and Martins beginning to pull a gap. Off the start gate, yet again, Jackie Martins nails the Husqvarna to the front, and, well, by the gap between himself now and second place man, which has changed, I think. It could well then be Hansen that's gone to second. Where is Schmetz, we ask ourselves. I think Schmetz must have been off somewhere. Out of camera shot, but that was Hansen that had gone up to second. As the rest of the pack come charging through, here's the leader, number 1. World 500cc champion. We're looking back now for second, and it is Marcus Hansen. Second, if he can stay there, those 70 points will help to keep him on top of the World Championship going into round 5. There's Woestenrad. It looked as if he had, well, that was Billy Lyles. There is Thabers. Gherkin's just gone through. Then that was Delapine behind him. Martins. Well, that's, I couldn't quite pick up the roll. That's the second place man. There you are, that's Hansen then. Where's third? Oh, it's Schmetz, there he is. We thought we'd lost him for good. Schmetz. Boonen is also in there. That looked like, well, there's Anstey. Could well have been Hulsen going through between that group. That was Watley, so the two British rides very much together. Billy Lyles has just gone through. Not so easy to distinguish the machines when they're covered in sand and dirt. But there's certainly no unmistaking the leader, because it is still Jackie Martins, number 1. Second then for Hansen, number 4. In your picture now, we should look back for third, the yellow Vertimati of Schmetz. Now, the battle I think is on for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. That's Lyle's just gone through, 73. There's a real tussle going on for the further places. Martins it is then, has the lead, and whoa, just look at this. He's unstoppable. Schmetz second, and we've seen a change then, because Marcus Hansen seems to have dropped back to third for some reason. We're looking back behind him. That's Carlo Hulsen going through. It looks like we got a retirement. That could be Danny Thabers just gone out as Boonen goes through. Looks like the first of the British riders, Mervyn Anstey, number 12 on the Bike Sport Honda. Behind him, he should be chased by Jeremy Watley, one of the other British contenders, and then Delapine was amongst that group. So as one FM Job Honda goes back to the paddock, the other one completes another lap. Martins puts the power down into the back wheel. You can see the circuit beginning to dry, and Hansen has gone back to second again, so it's a real tussle on between these two. Joel Smets and Marcus Hansen, they are swapping places lap after lap after lap. Really is a titanic tussle for second and third at the moment. They're pouring through. Martins, he just settles himself down. He knows how important it must be to score points, and that man wants to score good points because he wants to lead the World Championship going to the next round. Smets chasing that championship. Ronnie Oostenrade at the moment now looks in a good position as Martins comes through to complete another lap. Jackie Martins, the lanky Belgian rider, formerly rode KTM's once bridesmaid in the 500cc championship back in about 1991. Smets changed into the four strokes for 1993, finishing third in the World Championship behind Jorgen Nielsen, who is unfortunately a non-starter this year due to a back injury. But Martins determined, he wants to hang on to that number one plate, and the way he's going here at Hawkstone Park, there's no reason to believe that he wouldn't do. Comes the second, and Smets has gone back to second. Second it is for Smets. We'll look back then. It should still be number 4, then third. Although, hang on a minute, we've got possibly a change here. Carlo Hulsen, 23, went through. Well, they're really chopping and changing. There's Anstey. And there is Jeremy Watley. So I can only assume out of camera shot that Marcus Hansen has gone through. Carlo Hulsen is back there in around 4th or 5th. Daryl King, number 6, just gone through on the Kawasaki. 88 in your picture there. That's Danny Tettelin. Now, Danny Tettelin, the French rider, surprised everybody in time qualification on Saturday by coming from 22nd in time qualification to 16th in just one lap. Got himself into the Grand Prix. Martins, Smets. And there is number 4, so we were right. He had nipped through it out of camera shot. It is Marcus Hansen that hangs on to third, 15 points. The leader very cautiously picks his way down that hill. That is very, very trickery and very steep. Believe you me, if you try to walk down that hill, you wouldn't get very far without having to hang on to the tapes and the ropes. All taking very much the same line around that corner. There really isn't anywhere else to go. Ronnie Oostenrade goes through. Oostenrade, he's got Boonen now behind him, so Oostenrade and Boonen together. Oostenrade riding the FVM machine, the Belgian rider. Came here last year, won the first 2 motos Ronnie Oostenrade did when this Grand Prix was a 3-moto format. DNF the last motor with a blown engine. Denied him of a creditable top podium place, but he's putting it back together again this year as the leader goes through. Second place man still chasing. There's a Union Jack. That'll be out for the British riders. Third place man, Hansen, number 4. Carlo Hulsen, third in the first moto, number 23. Hulsen, the Swede, he's got Oostenrade, the Belgian, right behind him now, 22. So we're going to see a tussle for the line between those. And there is Mervyn Anstey, number 12. So far the best in this race of the British riders. His fellow Brit should be right behind him, number 9, Jeremy Watley. As the rest of the riders sort themselves out. These conditions here catching everyone out. 6 it is. Daryl King, the Kiwi, his brother Shane King, winning one of the opening motos at the Swiss round, and sadly has now broken his ankle and is out of the Grand Prix so far. Unable to turn up here today and compete. First and second going through, here's third. Just look at those ruts. Gives you some idea of the technical ability of these riders to keep those machines upright through those treacherous conditions. 23 being chased by 5, so Boonen chasing Carlo Hulsen at the moment. Watley, in turn, has got fellow Brit Jeremy Watley right behind him. These two, at the moment, 7th and 8th. They are battling. Martins at the front. He seems so smooth. Smets can do nothing about that four-stroke Husqvarna. Top four going through. Looking back for 5th and 6th. And Boonen looks now to be in 5th place. We're looking for 6th. Well, there he is, Carlo Hulsen, as he goes past number 10. That was Brian Wheeler, the British rider, as Watley comes around number 9. So it looks we may well have lost Anstey. Up the hill goes Smets. Across the top, Ferranda. Very trickery. But Marcus Hansen appears to be closing on 2nd place at the moment. Looks 4th now, Boonen. We've lost Woestenrad somewhere. Hulsen going through. We're back at the front. Well, can't you just hear that machine? Anywhere on the circuit you can hear him. Jackie Martins, the thundering 610 Husqvarna. Disaster struck last week at the Irish Grand Prix in the first motor when in 2nd place. He had a mechanical breakdown. Hansen. And he's back there again in 2nd place. Where does Hansen keep finding the speed from? Smets back to 3rd. But it is this man that leads. It is this man that's looking at another possible 20 points. And that'll be 2 in a row, 40 altogether. It still won't get him to the top of the championship, but it'll certainly get him to around 3rd and close down the gap between himself and that man, number 4, Marcus Hansen, and indeed that man, number 3, Joel Smets. So really you're looking at the top 3 in the standings at the moment who lead 1st, 2nd and 3rd in the race. Martins. Hansen, Schmetz closing on him again. These two have been swapping places lap after lap after lap. He's really had us on our toes here. Martin starts yet another lap over that road jump up the big hill. This hill here at Hawkstone Park only used for Grand Prix. It's very rocky underneath, and obviously the club here, the organising club, not wishing to put the track under any greater erosion than necessary. Martins then heads for the whoops. You'll notice that's where most of the crowd tend to stand. 2nd place man Hansen, 3rd place man, you can hear him before he even gets there. Schmetz, the Vertimati, the Italian design machine, and here comes Jackie Martins, who takes another 20 points. He will be ecstatically happy with that. Schmetz it was that chased him home with Hansen. And the presentation by yours truly. Not often I have a chance to get my face on camera. Barbara Laws there, the race coordinator from Dunlop. The British crowd love him.
Marcus Hansen back in front and showing some really consistent and good form.
Yeah, now at the second heat it was drying up and I was much faster, and I had also a much better start, and yeah, I catch up Smets, and but in the beginning I crashed in the whoops, and if I didn't do that I could have catch Martins maybe.
But
so,
the results are good for you now.
Yeah, it's not so bad. This is a Belgium track and they are always very fast, and I'm happy.
Well, congratulations, you've had a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Today a perfect result.
Yeah, I told you in the beginning, I was scared to tell that maybe I can win, but but it's happened, and yeah, I had no choice. Well, I had so many points back, and now I catch, I don't know, maybe 5 points left, I think, but it's going well. My condition is perfect, and yeah, I'm happy.
I'm right there with the leaders, the championship.
Yeah, sure, and I was riding, and I take every lap, I think, a few seconds, and yeah, it's going easy.
Well, congratulations, Jackie, on a faultless display today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Joe Smets, your sights must be now firmly set on winning the World Championship.
Yeah, everything is going good, except the first and for sure the second motor. I was really tired because last week I've been very sick. Sometimes I have a problem with migraine. The same problem I had last year in Holland. And last week I sleep for 12 hours a day every day. So, and I couldn't practice, and yesterday I thought that it was over, but for 2 heats of 30 minutes and 2 laps, it's really heavy, and now I felt that the sickness was still in my life. So.
But the results last year was a little inconsistent. Occasionally you broke the bike in the development stages and some crashes, but now you seem to be riding much more confidently.
Yeah, the speed is okay. It's no problem. Like the second heat, I'm sure that I could handle also Jackie and Marcus Hansson, but yeah, after 15 minutes I had to slow down, and I made a few mistakes, and that was too much. So.
Well, congratulations on the consistent results that you've had today, and we look forward to racing again. And you must feel that it's between you, Marcus Hansson and Jackie Martins, I feel.
Yeah, I think so. The last GPs you could see that at the moment we are the three strongest riders, I think, and yeah, it's going to be a very exciting battle for the championship, I think, this year.
Thank you, Joel Smets.
No problem, thank you.